My mom has never had a political opinion in her whole, like not a real political opinion in her whole life. She's never been into politics. You know, like back in the day, if you asked her a question, I mean, she knew who the president was, but she didn't really get involved with politics. She didn't care because I guess she kind of felt like, you know, she voted, like she always voted. But I guess on some level, she felt like, you know, it's none of her business. Like I would talk to her about politics and she'd be like, no, that's none of your business. Just let it be. Well, something happened as she's gotten a little bit older. She's gotten really into politics, but she only knows headlines. She doesn't know a deep dive into it. So you can't really have like a full-on conversation with her because she only knows like 5 things. So I've avoided the conversation mostly because she and I have very different political views. And we're living in a time where people do, and it's not worth losing a family member over. It's not worth arguing over something that, you know, whoever the president is, they're not going to be president for life. So eventually they'll go away and our relationship will still be here. So it's just not worth it. Plus, you know, I'm not a wonk. I care about politics, but I'm not one of those people that it's like my world.
Well, and the bad thing is right now we have a 2-party system. So that's the bad thing. You have to pick a side. You have to be this or you have to be that. You can't be right down the middle. You have to pick.
Right. Either you're team Taylor Swift or you're team Katy Perry. You know, you have to pick a side. You can't just be like, I like them both. You can't like them both.
Beyonce's not in it. So you could pick from 3. That would be better because then you wouldn't feel so strongly about Beyonce if you had to pick from those 2. But no, you have to now. It's one or the other. Right.
And unfortunately, my mother and I are on different sides of the aisle, which up until today has never been a problem. Like, because we don't really talk about, again, we don't talk about politics all that much. Once in a while, something will come up and she'll ask me and I'll tell her, but it's not much of a discussion. It's like, I think this, here's why I think it, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Well, the other day I was hanging out with her and suddenly out of nowhere, she goes off on a tirade about like a political tirade. And some of the things she said were really wrong and like weird. So I kind of tried to correct her a little. You know, I said, well, that's not really the case. And I see where you get that from. But, you know, it's kind of like you read that somewhere. And it ruined a perfectly good day. And we left on like not great terms. But, you know, again, it doesn't really matter. It's just politics. We're a mother and daughter. I have a very small family. It's just me. I'm an only child.
Right.
So it's just me and her and my stepfather who raised me. And that's it. So today we're having a conversation about literally nothing, like what's going on in our lives and something to do with her house and whether she's going to, like where she's going to store toilet paper. Literally, that's all we were talking about. Out of nowhere, she starts going off on politics, but in a very like disturbingly controversial way. Not, I feel this, but these things are facts and you need to know this. And I mean, it was very aggressive and really out of nowhere. So I, this time, fought back and I said, you're wrong. Here's why. You know, here's what this really is. Here's what, you know, without getting into specifics about it, it doesn't really matter. You can just hear her blood pressure going up on the other side of the phone. And she was like, I'm getting off the phone. And not only that, I never want you to call me again. Lose my number.
Are you kidding me? Your mom?
My mom. Over some stupid political, like, who cares? But yeah, no, she decided today that she no longer wants to talk to me because we have different political views. Like, as if that really matters, you know, as if neither one of us really care that much. But suddenly she has decided that we can no longer talk.
You're both a huge pain in the ass.
So, yeah, that is very true. Yeah.
But you have been a pain in the ass your whole life. She has been a pain in your ass your whole life. So you should be used to it.
None of this is new information.
Right.
So, you know, and we've gotten into it before over stuff. We don't really fight much because we just don't, you know. And she always comes from the place of, you get more with honey. Like my whole life, she always said to me, you get more with honey. You have to be nice to people. Well, this little tirade she went on, I was like, I mean, she's having some kind of like cognitive issue. Like I should call a doctor. You know, it was so aggressive and so weird. But her determination was that I'm not allowed to talk to her anymore.
Wow.
You know, I have friends like this, really political family, always had political discussions at the table. Never. Like my whole life, it was like who's the president? Nobody.
Mhm.
So the fact that she has these like really radical ideas all of a sudden, and she's for some reason decided to, like, why me? Like, we're not even talking about that. Like, call your friends who care about politics. Go talk
Right.
to them about it. But I don't even, the whole thing was so head spinning that when she hung up and said, "Don't ever call me again," I had to sit down. I was like, did that actually just happen?
Was that my mom or was that a wrong number?
I was like, is that one of those pollsters calling to ask questions? Like, who was that? Who was that masked man?
So what are you going to do? I mean, you going to call her tomorrow? I mean,
She told me not to call her. She told me to
I
lose her
know
number.
it's still your mom. At some point you do have to call.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
There's a side of me that I kind of feel like, okay, shoot. I mean, her birthday's coming up. Now I
No,
have to buy
you
her a
have to.
gift,
It's your
like,
mom.
all
I
that
mean, you
stuff.
guys talk almost every day anyway.
That's right. We up until today, we spoke almost every day. And here's the crazy thing. Well, you're gonna love this. Here's the crazy thing. Last year, she has this friend who's very, very close with her daughter, who's around my age, and her friend is around her age. When she saw how close they were, she said to me, "I know we're close, but we're not close enough. Like, you should see the way Judy is with her daughter. We should talk every single day. We should do more stuff together." And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, she wants to be closer with me. I love that because, up until today, I loved my mother. I thought she was amazing.
Attention TLC. You're going to run Smothered for the first hour from 8 to 9, and then from 9 until 10 we'll have the opposite of Smothered.
Unmothered.
Unmothered, and that will follow that show, and it'll feature people like you.
Yeah, mothers who break up with their daughters for stupid reasons.
Right.
Oh, actually, that's a great idea for a show. Can you imagine, like, you meet a guy, the mother doesn't like him, and she's like, "I never want to talk to you again." Unmothered.
Unmothered.
Trust me, there's probably a lot of women who are listening right now that are like, I would be on that show. Like, my mother, like, hung up on me over the stupidest thing. Even like, I saw a friend of mine was getting married, and during the wedding, the mom wanted like a certain cake, a certain food. Like, the mother had all these ideas, and her attitude was like, "We're paying for it. I get to make those choices." And my girlfriend was like, "That's adorable. It's my wedding." And the mom was like, "That's it. I'm not coming to your wedding," and like hung up on her. Unmothered. There it is.
Did she come to the wedding?
They made up eventually.
See,
The father got involved and repaired that. But still, the fact that happened. So I think, yeah, you're right. We have a great show idea here. See, some good came out of this.
Right. So I'm booking you guys now, and I'm calling TLC when we're done. I got the new hit show.
And if my mom and I can gain enough weight, we can do a spinoff.
Yeah, that would be the next hour. It's my 600-pound family.
Right.